Hello guys, and today it was really hot in Russia. And no, not because it is the end of spring, but because this is the end of crazy Russian Empire. And because of successful military operation of Ukrainian drones. And today officially we can continue one of our favorite series on the channel when we learn more about Russian locations based on the destructions of military objects there. And today we will travel to a number of locations, all chosen by Ukrainian armed forces. 2 oil depots were destroyed in Krasnodar region, explosions in Belgorod, but most importantly, 1 oil refinery was neutralized in Bashkortostan. Bashkortostan actually is not that Russia. It is one of its republics that Kremlin heavily uses to produce oil. But it is located, attention please, 1,500 kilometers away from Ukraine. So our drones, long-range drones, have set another record. So let me tell you more about this extremely important things and also potentially the destruction of another Russian Sioux at the front lines from an ordinary and satisfied Ukrainian perspective. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda and fake news. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. Tonight it was really loud in Krasnodar region, which is not that far away from the border, and especially around the city of Anapa. Anapa is or was a famous Russian resort, but now all the territory around Ukrainian border and particularly on the way to Crimea, they use for the storage of military equipment and huge storages of oil and petrol that is later used to fuel Russian machines. And we had no other choice but neutralize these oil depots, and the explosions were loud, like fireworks that Russians like so much for the Victory Day. And actually they were celebrating Victory Day in the Great Patriotic War on the 9th of May. And it may seem like nothing special, but unfortunately for decades our joint victory in the Second World War Russia used as one of the myths of its propaganda, claiming that it is only Russians who won the war, forgetting about the efforts and heroism of Ukrainian, Georgian, Belarusian, English, French people, and forgetting about Lend-Lease, which was a huge game changer for poor Soviet army. But anyway, they used this day for parades and the demonstration of their aggression, saying phrases that no normal victor would say. We can repeat and we can finish. And another continuation of this symbolic fireworks for Putin was also in Belgorod. They don't know how to work with air defense systems and sometimes cause more troubles for their own cities with their own hands, missiles, or negligence, whatever you prefer. Anyway, all over Russian Telegram channels, publics, there are lots of videos with these smokes, explosions, and someone once again dropped a cigarette in a very wrong place. Please, someone drop a cigarette in Putin's bunker too. And if you like this idea and you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. This is the easiest but still very effective way to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and spread more information about our joint resilience and efforts to end this nightmare. And to end this nightmare, one of the strategies developed by Ukrainian drones and destructions of oil refineries. Actually, this is a perfect combo. Ukrainian drones destroying Russian oil refineries and sanctions stopping Russians from buying so much needed details, reconstructing, and so on. In general, Russia has already run out of petrol to a great extent, and all because, once again, of our joint effort. And tonight a record was broken or actually during that day in the morning already, a record was broken by long-range Ukrainian drone that traveled 1,500 kilometers deep inside Russian area to Bashkortostan. Well, actually, Bashkortostan is one of 22 people's republics, national republics that constitute Russian Federation. And recently, there were huge protests in Bashkortostan, and we have a video on that, which can tell you a lot about these troubles and liberation movements inside Russia. And actually, it's not a monolith as it pretends to be. Russia is all about pretending, is all about fakes. So this explosion in Bashkortostan on oil refinery was huge. Videos all over, dozens of cars involved to set the fire. And people learn that not everything goes according to Putin's plan, plus minus one oil refinery. According to some sources, and not only Ukrainian sources, Russia has lost another Su-25 bomber close to the front lines near Avdiivka, and I hope that tomorrow we will receive this confirmation. And we all know that Russia is really good at losing aviation. Perhaps that's the way it helps us while we are still waiting for F-16s. And as summer approaches, I believe we will see, we will hear, and first of all, we will feel that F-16s are already in Ukraine sometime really soon. And just a brief update, Ukrainian hackers also managed to break some of Russian channels, and while they were broadcasting Putin on a military parade in Kremlin, near Kremlin, they broadcast information about Russian war crimes, about falsified elections result of Putin, and many other important messages that are so needed to educate Russian people. By the way, I have a question to you. Do you think that in this modern world with the access to information, it's really difficult to keep people in the vacuum? Russians really do not understand what their country does to Ukraine and the world, or they prefer not to look for this information, not to open the door, not to see, because otherwise you cannot unsee it. So is it really that they are so zombified, they cannot find information, or as I believe, it is a choice to not look into the reality and to prefer to follow the ideas of propaganda that actually excuse your passiveness, that actually excuse your blessing of this regime and these crimes. Let me know your opinion, and remember that we plan our live this Saturday. We will talk about inauguration, about Ukrainian frontline updates, and Eurovision, which is coming this Saturday. And join me on Instagram. I'm really active there, on Threads, Twitter, and Discord. We have a beautiful merch shop with lots of t-shirts, sweatshirts that work well as conversation starters. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. This is a great honor that you are a part of the family, a part of our team, community, and you make so many things possible. Thank you. And most importantly, thank you for standing with us, with Ukraine in this really challenging times. Thank you for understanding the importance of this battle. And I'm sure together we will win. Slava Ukraini!